99 Dreamers? We back at it, episode 16 of the 99 Dream Journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. You already know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is conscious decisions, right? And this is a big one for me because this is how I've been feeling recently, about what I've been thinking about recently, about how I'm making the right decisions consciously, that make me the person I want to become, that I'm making the right decisions consciously that my future self would be proud of. So that's what this episode is about. And, we'll kind of unravel that idea, a little bit later on. But, before we start, as y'all can see, we in the game, new camera. So now the visual and the audio is on point. We're going to rock out like this for the foreseeable future. And personally, I can just focus on communicating my points more effectively through the medium, right? And I think that'll allow for, you guys to, get a better insight and, highlight into my life, as I become a better communicator. So, I'm just excited and, we're going to rock out like this. So I can start the podcast now, and I want to start off with the quote for this week, which is from Mike Rashid, and it's basically a statement that he had on a podcast that I was watching, and he was saying how we as humans are infinitely powerful, right? Like the things that we can achieve, as we can scale mountains, do triathlons, build amazing inventions. We are infinitely powerful. There really are no limits to what we can achieve. So for me, when I heard that, it's kind of stayed with me. So when I think about me building my e-commerce, right, I know I'm infinitely powerful. That's something I can achieve. When I think about my 99 dream, right, when I think about my dreams, I know I am infinitely powerful, and that's something I can achieve, right? So that's the quote from Mike Rashid, or statement from Mike Rashid, and it's I am infinitely powerful, right? So if you're watching, I need y'all to say that out loud. I am infinitely powerful. And now we can get into the business update. So this week, good week for me. The sample came in of my product, and the sample is actually better than the competitor. So we're kind of good on that front. We have a better quality product, right? But that's one thing, but how does the consumer know? So I've been working on my listing, right? Making sure that my descriptions are all in line, looking at how do I really make my title descriptions and everything that would describe my product, correct. And this is called Amazon copywriting. So it's everything, under that, domain, like I said, of the title, the descriptions, and the about your product, right? What is your product about? So that's what I've been focusing on and kind of doing these past couple of days. Been doing that, but also I'll be doing my own packaging. So I'm not putting that in the hands of the manufacturer. The way that they are sending me this product, they told me that they aren't able to repackage my product, right? And the way they package it is not how I would want to package it. So I'll be repackaging. So that means that I need to gather my materials. So getting my poly bags, labels, like suffocation or hazard stickers. I need like a sticker logo for my brand. So making sure that I'm getting all my materials correct and that my packaging is correct as well, because there are specific guidelines for submitting your product into the Amazon fulfillment center. So make sure that I'm following all the correct rules, so that when I send my shipment off to Amazon, they don't send it back because it wasn't correct. So making sure that I do everything correctly now, make sure that I read through all of the instructions, on Seller Central, read through blogs, just making sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So also been doing all that. But in terms of me doing my packaging, right, there are additional costs that I didn't initially foresee, right? So this always happens, in a business. There are always extra fees that you didn't account for, you know, in the beginning. So when you build out your budget, always try to have buffer room for, fees or certain costs that you didn't necessarily, think about. And this will be good. So when you do, hit them, it doesn't set you back, and it doesn't, stop you. If you have that buffer room in your budget, then you can still move forward, but For me, it's about being diligent with this buffer room. So even though I have it, that doesn't mean I can just spend it, right? I still have to be very economical about my costs, about making sure that try to choose the cheapest labels, the cheapest poly bags, but also bags that have quality, also labels that aren't just gonna fall off once I put it on. So kind of towing the line in between, you know, cheap, but also, quality is kind of interesting for me as I'm in that process right now. But I'll be acquiring all of my materials. And since my sample came in on like Thursday, this next week I will be putting in that bulk shipment order, right? And that's going to cost me around $1,000 for the product and shipping. So from there, that cuts about 1,000 into my, budget, and a couple of these extra fees. But I'm still looking good. I'm still on track, from what I forecasted. And now it's just about putting it on Amazon and making a profit. But also the biggest thing for me moving forward is my product photos, right? So this is, as a consumer on Amazon, you scroll through and you're trying to choose what products you want to pick. And for me, the biggest attractor is the product photos, right? So this is basically the main course, to the whole dinner, right? Although I may have a good appetizer, which is the listing, I may have a good dessert, which is the product, you know. At the end of the day, the the determination of whether or not my product is the right one is from the photos. So I'm looking now that I'm probably going to outsource the product photos because I don't want to do it myself and have low quality photos. So I'll probably outsource that to a photography firm that specializes in Amazon FBA photos. Now I just need to make sure that I get a quote, and it's, get quotes from different, firms, and then make sure that I choose, the right one, the right company that can do my photography correctly. And then also the website, like I said last episode, that I need to work on, but I'm not too worried about that. Uh, you know, I'm kind of, in STEM and things like that. So I'm really comfortable about technology, and I feel like building a website is within my power and something I can knock out, not easily, but something I can do, and I'm not too worried about it. So that's kind of my business update. And, I'll talk about my next steps a little bit later on at the end of the episode. But to get started for the lessons of the week, I have three of them. So the first one is believing in people is the only way to live. This is a idea or message I got from Malcolm Gladwell. I was watching a lecture he had about one of the books that he had wrote, but he was saying how humans have evolved over time only by believing in people, by having intrinsic faith in others, and that's the only way to really be successful in the end, even as like humanity. And sometimes it's really easy to stop believing in people, to lose faith, whether it's because they don't meet up to your expectations, or they just fail you, or they do something that you don't like. It's easy to lose faith, but you can't keep that feeling, right? That's something you just have to remove and keep on believing, because that is the only way to live. So that's the first lesson. And then the second lesson is from Myron Golden, right? This is a coach, or like, mentor and things like that. Not to me, but that's something that he does. And he's a mentor to David Shands, the person who does Social Proof podcast that I always watch. So that's kind of how I got tapped into Myron Golden. But I was watching one of his videos, and it was actually to bring in the new year. And he was saying how where he used to be versus now, I'm saying that the time is going to go by anyway. So who do you want to become as that time passes, right? So whether or not it takes you 10 years to be successful, 1 year to be successful, the time is going to go by anyway. So what are you actively doing to be the person that you say you want to become? What are you actively doing to stop complaining? What are you actively doing to, make your dreams come true? That's kind of what he was saying. So I'm going to basically turn 30 anyway. So where do I want to be at 30, and what steps do I want to take to when I get to 30, I'll be happy and, content with where my life is. So that's the second lesson. And then the third one is about defining moments and moments of realization, right? And I feel like everybody gets these. The moment I became an entrepreneur, August 1st, that was a defining moment for me. That was a moment of realization when I realized that entrepreneurship was a path that I wanted to take. And it's one thing to have that moment, but it's another to have the moment and then every day subsequently, every day after that, to make conscious decisions to build your dream, right? To make conscious decisions to realize that moment and be intentional about whatever that moment told you, whatever lesson you took from that defining moment. You can't just take it and then go back to living the life that you were living before. You have to take that defining moment and then make a change. And then every single day, make that change consciously, right? It's not an unconscious decision, it's a conscious decision to either be successful, build relationships, or, you know, become, like I said, the person you want to be. So that's the third lesson. And that kind of rolls over to the topic, which is conscious decisions. And, honestly, I just came to this realization as I was kind of writing the script for this episode and how I wanted to flow. And before I kind of wrote it, I was thinking about conscious decisions. Sometimes it's hard to make the right decision, right? As you go through life, there's a lot of things that may be presented that you think you want to do, but is not in the best, is not benefit to you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to do it. Um, so sometimes it can be hard to do the right thing. And previously, I was thinking about making the right decision as it's a battle to make the right decision. It's a struggle, right? But as I was writing the script, I just realized that you can't look at it like that. You have to look at it as an opportunity, right? Every day you wake up, it's an opportunity to make the right decision. It's an opportunity to be conscious and making a decision that your future self will be proud of, right? Making the decision to become a better person, right? And although it's still maybe hard to make that decision, it's still maybe a little bit tough, but you can't look at it as a battle, right? Everything really is mindset. So, me just like 30 minutes ago, flipping that switch in my head of thinking about it as an opportunity versus, a battle, it made it so much easier in my head to rationalize, about making the conscious decision and making the right one. And and then in that it'll make it that much easier, like I said, to become a better person. And just about every day, you know going through that is not something you do for a week and stop, or 2 weeks and stop, or a month. It's a every single day decision, conscious decision, right? What are you going to do when you wake up? What are you going to think about when you wake up, right? Every day I go through life, I don't forget that I'm blessed, right? I don't forget that I'm thankful, right? That's an everyday understanding. That's an everyday motive for me. Understand that I am blessed, that I am thankful. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, that's not something I only think about half of the day. I only think about in the morning. That's something I think about the entire day, right? And I'm making conscious decisions throughout the day to build my dreams, right? To become a successful entrepreneur. So that's what the topic is about, just conscious decisions. And all, like I said, although it may be tough sometimes, um, especially when you're pitted between two different things, just keep the main thing. And what are your priorities? What are your reasons to become an entrepreneur? And then at the end, once you sorted that out, make the right decision, right? Make the decision that you would be proud of. And that's the topic. And now I can start with my next steps for next week, which I did kind of say last week, which was the website, but I ended up doing other business tasks. But this week, I will be working on my website and building that out. I'm probably gonna dedicate at least 1 or 2 days to the website, but then also my other business action steps, like I said, placing that bulk order, making sure that I'm gathering all my materials, and we're just gonna get rolling. And sooner or later, my product is gonna be on Amazon, in a blink of an eye. So I just have to make sure that I'm getting it right, and everything that I'm doing, like I said, is correct. So we can speed line the process and I don't unnecessarily run into any hurdles that I could have avoided, right? So, all right, let's get it, y'all. Go and achieve your 99 dream, and it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream, and it would be 100%, but nobody's perfect, so you're gonna achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.